Alright guys, welcome back to another video. This video is going to be about the most expensive and collectible items in Team Fortress 2. And sorry for the delay, but my mic decided to break itself while I was recording the audio for this video, and half of it was unusable. Anyways, I have one rule for this video, and that is that I'm not going to be talking about one specific item, at least not for too long. I will be talking about some specific items, but it will be mostly quality items, and there will be one item in this video, but you guys won't be disappointed by it. Without further ado, let's just get into the list, and we're going to be starting off with Halloween effects. Now, Halloween effects are currently some of the most expensive items or unusual effects in Team Fortress 2, and they're expensive because of their rarity. If you guys are unaware, Halloween effects were usually released during Halloween, and the ones from 2011 to 2014 are considered some of the most desirable effects in the game right now. Now, these effects were supposed to be only released for that year of Halloween. For example, the 2011 effects were supposed to be only released during the 2011 Halloween update, but Valve decided to re-release them in 2017 for some strange reason, and they added a lot more to the market, but that still hasn't stopped people from craving these items, as they're still incredibly rare. Now, a couple years ago, these items weren't even in such high demand. For example, a knife storm, the cheapest knife storm listing on Backblood.tf 3 years ago was for 83 keys, but now the cheapest knife storm item listed is for 500 keys, which is a massive difference, and it honestly shows how much these have gone up in price and demand. These are also probably rare because of how flashy they are. If you look at something Burn This Way Comes or Hellfire, you see they're big, they're flashy, and people will definitely notice them. And I'm just going to put this out there, but if you do want to get yourself a cheap old Halloween effect, you can get yourself an Amaranthine Electric Escorter for 170 keys right now. Mentioning a Robo effect and the line effect, these effects have raised in price a lot, but they aren't as valuable as Halloween effects, as these effects they still can technically be unboxed, but it's just very hard to. Alright, next up we're going to go to collector's items. Now, collector's items, they were introduced in November 2013, and they stopped dropping in roughly July 2014, which gives it an 8-month period where they could be unboxed. The reason why they stopped dropping is unknown, but I think the reason why they stopped dropping is because Valve wanted to create scarcity, and they wanted for collectors to want these items, thus the name. And in case you guys are wondering, why are these in such high demand, why are they so expensive? It's because they have red text, which is basically it to these items. They haven't raised in price as much as Halloween effects, because the cheapest collector's item as of right now is 35.84 keys, and the most expensive collector's item is the Conscientious Objector, which is a pretty controversial item. Honestly, a cool idea that I think Valve could implement into the game is to add the community sparkle effect to these items, but just make the sparkle red, which I think would be pretty cool. But at the same time, these would probably raise in price even more than they already have. Alright, so for number 3, we're going to be looking at unusual misks. Now, these are pretty similar to Halloween effects, but they are slightly different. So these also used to be cheap like Halloween effect. They used to even go around for 30 keys sometimes, because they used to be able to unbox these between 2015 and 2016. Now, 2016 is when Valve removed them, also for an unknown reason, but it's believed because it's performance issues, which kind of makes sense. Now, unlike Halloween effect, some unusual misks have a lot of them in existence. For example, the Sunbeam's Pyromancer's Mask. It's worth around 600 keys, but there are 31 in existence, which is a lot for them to be in existence and for the amount it's worth. Now, this kind of shows how much unusual misks are on demand, as in case you guys don't know, you can put these misks or unusual misks on top of other hats, meaning that you could have 2 unusuals or even 3 unusuals. Anyways, without further ado, let's just move on. So we're going to be talking about glitched vintage items. It's happened because of Steam support errors, and vintage buds and maxi heads are probably some of the most well-known vintage items, but there are others like vintage scrap, vintage ref, and these are worth way more than vintage buds and maxi heads, as they're very low in quantity and collectors really like them for some reason. Now honestly, I might make a video about vintage buds themselves, like the rise and fall, but as a brief summary, vintage buds about 10 years ago were actually pretty expensive, as they were used as how some high-end traders use golden pans now. And if you guys don't know what I mean, basically when you're paying for a very big item, it's easier to just pay with like a golden pan instead of paying with pure keys, like 3,400 pure keys. It's just easier to pay with a golden pan. And traders used to do this back then as well. I even was able to find a person who remembered seeing, I believe 14 vintage buds being traded for a coffin kit by a person called Kieran. Now when buds fell off, vintage buds also kind of fell off, and they have dropped in value a lot and demand, as I can testify because I did used to own vintage buds at one point. And most of the ones on the market right now are duped, which means that the clean ones are in collectors' backpacks and probably we won't see them ever again. Alright, next up is community sparkle items. Now community sparkle is super rare and super valuable. Now there are actually a couple of community sparkle items in the game, especially with Valve adding a lot of community items in the game now. And if you don't know what community sparkle is, when you make something for the game and it gets added into Team Fortress 2, you get a community sparkle version of the item you made from Valve. But these are untradeable. But some of the older ones are actually tradable. And this includes some of the older keys, which aren't too expensive. They usually go for 200 to 400 to 500, or I might be wrong about that. But the most expensive community sparkle item probably is the Lugamorph, which is worth 3,700 keys, which is a lot. And before Manco.store got hacked, I remember seeing one for $14,000 on there, but it's now in a scammer's backpack. A lot of dupes also exist, and one thing I will mention is that an untradeable vintage community sparkle Maxis head was sold in 2019 on a CSGO store website, and it only sold for $1,000 in gift wrap, which is, you know, quite a bit, but at the same time it probably could have went for a lot more. Alright, next up is the glitched specialized kill streak and pro kill streak kits. Now these are glitched kill streaks that can literally be applied to anything. This includes like hats, taunts, crates, anything in the game that you want to apply to, you can apply it to. This glitch happened in 2014, and I can't actually find a reason for this glitch happening, but they are very expensive. A pro kill streak is priced at 700 keys, and a specialized kill streak is priced at 375 keys, which, if you guys haven't noticed, these are very old prices, and these will go for well over 1,000 keys just for one of them. There's not much more to say about these other than it's pretty hard to track one down, since you can't, on backpack.tf, you can't just look up a glitched specialized kill streak kit or pro kill streak kit. And other than that, there's nothing really else to say about these other than these are pretty cool. So I'll move on to the next one. Alright, next up is glitched normal items. Now I can't find how this glitch also happened, but the most expensive normal item is the normal Master's Yellow Belt, which was priced at 1,440 keys 4 years ago, which, since it was 4 years ago and it's been in a collector's backpack since, this could go for well over that. It could probably go for like 3,400, 4,000 maybe even. And the cheapest normal item I could find, in case you guys want to pick one up, is a normal grenade launcher, which is priced at 280 keys. For the last one, we have a pretty mysterious item, and that is the blood-nosed caribou, or the full name is the Randolph the blood-nosed caribou. I can't say that word. Anyways, how much of these are in existence is pretty confusing, because according to some sources, it used to be a 1 of 2, and then it went down to a 1 of 1. But according to other people, it's always just been a 1 of 1. So who knows how many of these are out there, and who knows what happened to the second one if it did exist. But for the one that we do know that definitely exists, it sold for $5,100 on PayPal 9 years ago in 2014. There was a price suggestion for this made on backbuilder.tf for 2,925 keys 9 years ago, and it was closed by the submitter. And in case you guys don't know how this item came into existence, it was a promo item for the winter 2013 Steam Holiday Sale. It's a hat for the sniper, and the nose glows on both teams, but apparently it's broken for the blue team. And since this item is so rare, there's not even a single screenshot of this item in game, so we don't even know if the nose actually glows on the red team. Now the one that's in existence, it's been sitting in a collector's backpack for 9 years now, and he is a collector. He has a bunch of vintages, and it's also believed that the account is actually abandoned, so we will likely never see this item ever again unless the second one comes back into existence, and I don't know, we'll see a sale of it or something. Anyways, that's it for this list. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. So see ya.